What is up, everybody? It is Revv time, and I just wanted to prove that I do have legs, and every once in a while I can stand and play guitar. That being said, this is when, all my videos are weird. I'm starting to figure that out. This would be a different one because my friend, dear friend Chris Justice, and I finally got around to building an ISO cab. Now, I've always wanted to build one. I've always been lucky enough to be able to record cabs live on my favorite microphones and get away with murder. Here in this new place, I can't. I did one video and I heard about it from the neighbors, and that was the video I did on my channel for the D40. So I finally got it built and I'm just messing around with it. And I thought I would just, if you guys want to be, fly on the wall per se, maybe talk about it. So the cabinet that's in there, and I've got like an iPhone picture of what we ended up doing, but the cabinet that's in there is my Bogner 2x12. I've had that thing forever. It's got Celly V30s in it. That's what I've always done demos on, especially if it's an amplifier demo. It's very important to me that if I demo an amplifier in any way, shape, or form, it has to be on microphones. I'll never slag on modelers. You guys, my love for the UA aux is well documented, as well as the two-note stuff that's in all of the Revv products. But in this case, yeah, I wanted to build something, and it took the better part of 3 days to build it. We got into all kinds of ratios for, phase problems and all the things that can happen when you build a cabinet like that. It's actually in the garage, which is right next. It's right on the other side, and I can still park a car in there, which is awesome. But anyways, I just thought I'd, let you guys, into my world a little bit. So I'm listening to it now. So what you're hearing is that ISO cabinet, which is about 4 feet long, almost 3 feet wide. It's about almost 4 feet tall, because that's the ratio that ended up working. When you get into the whole golden ratio method, which is what we did, took a second. So you're hearing that. Bogner 2x12, Celly V30. The mics you're hearing for now are the SM57 that I always use, and a Royer R10. I love the Royer R10. Now, you guys have known me to use a 121 and a 122. Those are absolutely fabulous mics, but I'm just finding when I put, when I just want to mic up an electric guitar, there's something about how that R10 sounds that just works. I can close mic it on the cab. I don't have any low end buildup. I don't have to deal with a lot of those types of issues. So that's why I'm using that for now. I could circle back around and end up using my 122, which I absolutely love, with the 57. Out of that, I'm going into my Chandler TG2, which I've also had forever. I mean, well over 15 years. And that thing, the reason I love it so much is because of the summing amp. So whenever I use a Royer 57, I always sum that to mono, and the summing amp in there sounds amazing. So just to give you an idea, yeah, let's do this. Okay, I'm going to shut down the 57. There's the R10. Now let's go the other way. Let's go just 57. I'll shut down the R10. There's the 57. So there's all that bark and punch, and that's why on so many records, that's the thing. It's like that's such a classic combination. I'm not saying that's the only combination, but it's a very classic combination because you've got all that punch, in the upper mids and mids from the 57, and then you bring in all the fat lows with the a ribbon mic. It doesn't have to be an R10, it doesn't have to be a Royer, but ribbon mics just do that. So I'll roll the ribbon mic into the 57. And obviously, because I'm summing mono, obviously the level went up, but you can hear immediately now we're capturing everything. That's why it's always important to me to use those two mics, is I can capture all of the upper mids and highs off of 57, but then I can get all those lows and lower mids off of a ribbon mic, and in this case it's the R10. Now, I'm obviously on the drive channel of the Dynamis D40. The reverb you're hearing, which is a little too much, but I like a lot of reverb, but I'll shut it off. I'm on channel 2. So now the only thing you're hearing is just a little bit of delay in the old television set, Pro Tools. Now if I go to channel 1, that seems a little bit hotter, right? I'm going to back that, so... I really like the way that sounds, especially on the mics. Both channels sound great on the mics, and like I said, this whole thing is to just kind of clue you guys into how I listen. My world tends to revolve around how things sound on the mic. Obviously, in the room, something can sound absolutely amazing. Like if I turn on that cabinet, which sounds fabulous, the new 2x12, it sounds killer in the room. But I always want to hear things on the mics, because for me, I grew up in a world of hearing all those tones that I wanted to hear, or all those tones I wanted to try to replicate. I had to realize, well, on the record, that's not in the room, that's on the mics. And it's not to say that you couldn't, you know, duplicate the sounds without that mentality, but at the same time, that is my mentality. So my process, especially with building this cabinet with my dear friend Chris, and he was so patient, you know, this ISO cabinet, was making sure there weren't any weird standing waves, there wasn't any weird low end buildup. You know, I could just basically turn on an amp I know really well on a cabinet that I know equally well, and I'm off to the races. What do you guys think? I do love my UA. It's absolutely fabulous. But it seems like all of us guitar players are always we're striving for that. God, it could be 8%. I mean, because modelers are getting so good, especially UA. Two notes sound great, but there's just something about how things work on the mics that just, I guess it's a sympathetic thing for me. Like, guitar players are just so sympathetic anyways. There's just something about like how that feels. So, you know, let me know what you guys think. I mean, I'll never be one to slag on modelers. I think that technology is amazing and it's getting better on the daily. But at the same time, there's something about just analog, you know, guitar into the amp, into a cabinet, into microphones, into a microphone pre that's totally analog. And then, you know, the television set is what it is. In this case, I'm using Pro Tools. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like, what's your opinion on all of that? So, as always, you guys are the best. You've got great ears. These are the reasons I do these types of videos, is because I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you think. And, you know, so as always, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you.